Okay, let's test this Collonil Clean and Care foam soap. I have this hot pink Furla handbag that has a little bit of transfer just from wearing it all the time. We're going to clean that off. I have this white Chanel that also had a little bit of color transfer from a dark pair of pants I wore. It is mostly gone, but we'll test it anyway. And then this black YSL bag that has just never really been cleaned. I have some smudges that I haven't been able to wipe off, so we'll try the cleaner with this too. So the directions say to put the foam onto a cloth, and this is just a white microfiber cloth that I happen to have. Now the number one question is, does the soap turn your leather a different color? So that's why I'm testing this on different colors. And you always want to be really gentle and start out with a little bit and just incrementally increase both the cleanser and the pressure. So what I'm finding here is that the color transfer, the dirt, whatever this is, comes off really easily. I do see that some of the pink is transferring to my towel, but the bag itself is not changing colors. So that's good to note. Of course, Furla is a pretty good leather brand. And you also want to make sure to not just spot clean, but go ahead and clean the entire bag just in case there is a little bit of difference in the texture of your leather, that it is consistent throughout your entire bag and not just on that one spot that you tried to clean. So I've wiped down the entire bag, and the color transfer in those particular spots are mostly gone. Because this is more of an everyday bag, I wasn't that careful with it. Now on the white Chanel, I did test a spot on that corner. It did not discolor anything, so we're going to move ahead with the entire bag. Now this is going to be more of a general maintenance clean because it's white, and I don't want stains to develop on those high traffic areas where I get a lot of hand oils, like on the edges of the flaps and that kind of thing. So I am going to work a little bit on that color transfer spot. I'm not going to clean the chain because I usually wrap that in a scarf, but this would be another place that you might want to regularly clean before stains get there. And I would use this eyeshadow applicator so I can get all of those tiny little spots easily. So this is where I had some color transfer. When I first noticed it, I actually used a bit of a magic eraser very, very gently. I did get a little too aggressive and I messed up the leather. Like I think I literally rubbed some of the leather off on the edge. That is regrettably, something you just learn the hard way. So I'm going to be really, really gentle with this cleanser. Now this is the caviar leather, so I can see the texture. I can see where the color is on the texture. You're not really going to see it on the video. So I'm just trying to be really, really gentle so I don't damage more of the leather. But there is very, very little left for me to try to clean off. And another thing that I noticed is that as you're cleaning, just take a break. Take 30 minutes to an hour away from it and just see how the bag changes itself. I really don't know how to explain it, but I did notice that. So I was really, really gentle on this and just decided to move ahead on the rest of the bag. Again, in case anything does change on the leather with the cleanser, you want it everywhere, not just on that one spot that you tried to clean, because that really stands out. So I am definitely going over again those high traffic spots where the oil from my hands might build up. We definitely don't want that because that is really hard to clean once you start to notice it. So let's just not start to notice it. The directions on Collonil also say to take a separate cloth, a damp separate cloth, and then wipe off any remaining foam that might still be there. And so because this is a textured leather, I'm definitely doing that. I wouldn't want any of the soap to build up in the crevices of that texture and eventually discolor, or to build up on the thread or anything like that. So I'm going along by sections, cleaning with the soap and then switching to my clean damp cloth to wipe off anything that might be remaining. That's what I'm doing here. And moving on to the black YSL, this has an emblem on the front which collected a lot of dirt, so I'm definitely letting the foam collect in those crevices, and I've got my eyeshadow applicator that I'm going to use to really get up in those edges so you can see how it looks where the foam has been applied versus where it hasn't been applied. And now I'm just getting up in those edges and getting that dirt build up. So I'm doing the same thing here where I'm just going over the entire bag to make sure that it is entirely cleaned, just as a general maintenance measure. So I've cleaned the whole bag, and The most noticeable spot was a smudge that I had right here on the inside, right about there, and it's finally gone. So I'm really pleased with the Collonil. It doesn't seem to change the color of any of my bags, and I try to use a variety here. So you can feel safe using this on yours.